understand that, the word of the Lord, lasts forever, endures forever. Like all these materialistic things on earth, they won't last. They won't be here forever. You know, people need to put their time into something with eternal value, the bread of life, Jesus Christ. Let me tell you this parable I made. There was a man, right? He saw two doors. And between those two doors, one door was Jesus Christ, and one door was full of lavishness, gold, items, the food he loves. So enjoy. He says, Jesus, it's good to have all these things here right now, So he goes to the door with all the lavishness and all that stuff. So as he's touching the gold and all the material, all these things, they turn to sand. Sand. He's like, what? As he's about to eat the food, he's about to eat it. The food turns into sand, literally out of his mouth, spilling out from his mouth. So here's the thing, the things on this planet, it will perish. You know what I'm saying? Remember when Jesus said, when the people came and they were hungry for more food, and he was like, you didn't seek me because, I done the miracles. You seeking me because I filled up your stomachs. But he was like, seek for the meat that endures. Don't seek for the meat that perish. You know what I'm saying? Because, seek for eternal value. Remember, only the Son of Man can give it to you. Look at Psalm 119, verse 72. He says, the law of thy mouth is better unto me than thousands of gold and silver. This person is saying, materialistic, these things in this world, the most valuable things in the world is nothing compared to the word of God. Because the word of God lasts forever. The wisdom, this is why Solomon says, gain wisdom. Wisdom lasts in you forever. It goes in your character. You know what I'm saying? So you got to understand, building character, the word of God, these things last on forever. The teachings of the Lord last on forever. But all these things perish. Like, think of it like this, a house made by a man will crumble, but a home built by God endures forever. You know what I'm saying? Like the things here it won't last long, it will perish. You got to put your time and your value into things that, that's eternal, that will last forever, like the word of God. This is why, one of the temptations, Jesus says, it is written, man shall not live by bread alone, but by every word that proceeded out of the mouth of God. Why do you say that? Because the word of God is literally, our necessity, man. Like, it literally protects you from enemies. It shows that you're disciplined every day when you meditate on it. Look at Psalm 1 verse 2. It talks about meditating on the word. And even in Joshua, it talks about meditating on the word. When you meditate on the word and you understand the word, it also transforms you. When you look at Jesus' parables, these parables are literally showing you how to become a good person, how to see the world differently. Like, it's another level, like in Job, God is literally telling Job in chapter 38, talking about, were you with me when the foundations were built? Were you? No. You know what I'm saying? God is before everything. Like, you should put your time in God, because eating dirt, like, he can't go away. He's the only one that can be with you, literally, when you're by yourself. No one can be with you by yourself. Literally, he's the only one. So, he's literally everywhere, and you everywhere. So, really put your time into God, and, and your life will change. God bless you.